everybody, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to the Raw family, Royal Amore Washington, Rashida and Will, and we are so excited to be new parents. I'm so excited to be a new mommy. This adventure, this journey is just, it's amazing. But no, let's get right into why I have this turtle in my hand. It's because my son loves turtles. Let's get right back into it. So today's video, we're gonna talk about breastfeeding. Everything you need to know about being a breastfeeding mommy and the experience, giving you guys some tips and pointers. So if you wanna learn more about breastfeeding, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe and watch this whole video. Go and watch the video, Royal. Alright guys, let's just get right into it. Okay guys, so there are a lot of myths about breastfeeding, especially being a new mom. You know, I just speaking from my own experience, you know, it was definitely an amazing experience breastfeeding Royal for the first time. So right when he, you know, was birthed, they checked him out, make sure that his heart rate was good, he was good to go, and then they gave him to me. I cannot explain how just in awe I was that I just pushed out a whole baby. Like, you know, when you're younger, you're always trying to imagine how you will be as a mom or how the experience will be, and I don't know, even to this day, I'm still in awe. Like, I think people will say, oh, I don't even remember when I gave birth, but no, I remember. Like, I remembered everything from them giving me, you know, giving him to me and me looking into his eyes and him looking at, you know, my eyes, and I couldn't do anything but cry. I was just so grateful and blessed to hold him. But once he was out of the womb, immediately they told me to try to feed him, and I don't know why, but it was just so easy for him. He latched on easy. It was like my baby was ready to eat when he came out. I mean, but ever since then, he's just been eating good. Can you tell? So yeah, I didn't have any really, you know, I really didn't have much difficulty with him latching on. I don't know what it was, but our bond was just so instinctive. He knew how to latch. I knew how to place my breast in his mouth, I guess, and it just went easy peasy. But that's not for everyone. Definitely it does take time, and just because my experience when he first latched on was so easy, there still were some hiccups along the way, and I learned a lot in regards to, you know, breastfeeding and just, you know, what I experienced. Whatever I'm saying, guys, please, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a professional, so this is just speaking from my experience. If you guys want to share your experience, definitely put that information in the comments or reach out to me. If you have any further advice, definitely share that. You know, I want to create a welcoming environment so that moms can express how they feel. You know, even if you're not breastfeeding, that's okay. Everyone has their own way of doing things. There's no right or wrong way, but for me and, you know, my life and my children, I definitely want to breastfeed, and I definitely advocate for anyone and everyone to breastfeed. Yes, let the breast free the breast. So let's just get into some tips. The first tip that I want to talk about is making sure you feed baby immediately. Do not delay the breastfeeding experience unless, you know, your doctor tells you otherwise. Once baby is out of the womb, try to feed baby as soon as possible, because you want to go ahead and establish that bond and that latch. Also, in the beginning, baby is used to being in your stomach. So baby is definitely going to want to be close to you. And, you know, that breastfeeding experience is where you guys can continue that bond, doing some chest to chest, you know, just keeping baby without any clothes. You know, if the temperature is good in the hospital, you can of course tell your nurse to adjust the temperature for you and baby, but you want to try to do some chest to chest, which basically means that baby's chest and your chest are touching each other, and you guys are feeling each other's skin. You know, doing skin to skin helps baby feel comfortable, and also helps you feel more relaxed and feeling that, you know, feeling that warmth on you as you're breastfeeding. So immediately you want to try to feed baby as soon as possible, and definitely do skin to skin. So after baby has came out of the womb, you breastfed baby, you are, baby is latching on, you want to make sure that you're feeding baby as much as possible. So if baby is giving you hints that baby is hungry, make sure you feed baby. Do not delay. What happens if you do that is your milk will start to build up and your breast may harden, which will cause even more issues. You do not want that to happen. Or if you are delaying feedings or you're not feeding as often as you should, your milk can start to dry up and then you will start to produce less. So if you are feeding, continue to feed and continue to feed. In the beginning, you may actually produce too much milk. If that happens, you need to pump. Don't listen to anyone telling you do not pump. Make sure you start to pump immediately, especially if you're going to continue to breastfeed. If you're pumping in the beginning, that nutrition in the beginning is just so valuable. So do not lose that milk. Make sure you pump and put it into your storage packets, label it and put it into the freezer, because breast milk can last for a very long time, especially when you're, returning back to work or you're not able to be around baby. You still want to be able to provide that nutrition for baby. So you're going to have to pump. Yes, it's a little bit of work. It's a little bit of work, but it's going to be worth it in the end. Some mommies, they kind of start to get discouraged and slow down because they're returning back to work and they start to get worrisome, like, how am I going to breastfeed? Well, to avoid that, you need to pump immediately. Once you see that your breasts are engorged, go ahead and pump that out. You do not want to keep that milk just sitting in there and hardening. There are all different type of ways to breastfeed, and I will touch on that in a different video, but in this video I just want to give you guys a few tips and tricks when it comes to breastfeeding and trying to maintain that milk, because I know moms that breastfeed up until the baby is 2 years old. Me personally, I'm not sure if I will go that long. I definitely want to try to breastfeed Royal up until he's 1 year old. In the beginning, it may be a little difficult to get baby to latch on, so you definitely want to be calm, confident, say that you can do this. In your mind, you have to be relaxed. Baby can feel that tension. So let's just going through, baby can feel that tension. If you're having a lot of difficulties, what you can do is get you a breastfeeding pillow. And let me show you guys an example. So this is a boppy, and I love my boppy. I actually have two of these. The other one is a little bit more sturdy, but this one is very soft material. When he was a newborn, I definitely would feed him on the boppy, and it helps so much with back support and also further support with him. But if you don't have a boppy, just try to use some pillows to help support yourself and help baby support him or herself, because what you don't want is for baby to have a loose latch. You don't want that to happen because air can start to get into baby's lungs and make it difficult for baby to digest. Making sure you're burping after you feed. If you feed on one breast, make sure you burp and then go to the next breast. It usually takes about 10 to 15 minutes on each breast. You do want to try to feed on both breasts, because if you don't, you may run into what I am running into, where I have one breast that is smaller than the other. This happens. My left breast, he feeds on this one, a lot more. And then when I was beginning, when I started to breastfeed in the beginning, I felt like it was more difficult for me to get him to latch on and feed him on, on this way with this breast. So this breast honestly is smaller than this breast. And as time goes by, of course, my body will start to recoup and start to, get back to where it was before. But that happens, But that is a sacrifice that you're making for your baby. Breastfeeding definitely is a sacrifice. I want you to stay encouraged, okay? I know there are some people, I didn't have time for that. I tried to do that and it didn't work for me. That's gonna mess up your breast. At the end of the day, it's not about me. It is about my child. to do the work so that I can give him the best opportunities, the best chance. I want him to be as healthy as possible. I want him to have an easy life experience. So if I have to do a little bit of more work to do that, then that's what I'm going to do. And as a mommy, sometimes it takes that, and I'm not trying to put down any other moms that are using Similac, that don't really prefer to breastfeed, and some people can't breastfeed because of health issues or just in general, they physically may not be able to breastfeed. So do not get discouraged or feel like you're less of a mom because you are not breastfeeding. But for me and, my son in my life, I advocate for breastfeeding. If anybody has any advice of whether or not to do Similac or breastfeeding, I'm gonna say breastfeeding. Breastfeeding. I'm gonna search really quick and read to you guys why it's so important to breastfeed and why I think breastfeeding is the way to go. So when you just search on Google why breastfeeding is better, the first thing that pops up, breastfeeding helps protect babies from many serious health problems, and it keeps on offering protection as they get older. A lower risk for SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome, than babies who are not breastfed. And if breastfeeding can help my baby in any way possible, I am going to do that. And I'm hoping that you will take this time and consider breastfeeding. Even if you started using, formula, that's fine. You can always, backtrack and say, hey, I think I want to try to do that. Or you may be able to do both. Hey, I'm going to breastfeed him only at night. Just trying to get that nutrition into the baby's diet is so important, especially when they're so little. Definitely during a whole pandemic, you want to try to give your baby the best chance as possible. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. I love you. He's sleepy. He's sleepy. Trying to finish this up because my baby is so sleepy. So when baby wakes up, feed baby. If baby is making, smacking noises, feed baby. If baby is trying to bite your nose or something like that, baby may be hungry. Feed baby. If baby is pulling on your shirt and doing all that, baby may be hungry. Feed baby. If baby is crying, baby may be hungry. Feed baby. That is the best advice I can give you if you're breastfeeding, is to feed your baby. Continue to breastfeed. If you start to slow up or slow down, or you stop pumping as well as slowing down on breastfeeding, your milk is confused. It's like, wait, do you need milk, or should I just chill out with producing this milk? So that's why it's so important for you to continue to pump and continue to feed. If you are having issues with breastfeeding, try different positions. And like I said, I'm going to get into another video about those different positions because that can also affect your breastfeeding experience. So just be open to trying different methods. Maybe, make sure you're in, is it better for you to breastfeeding sitting in a chair? Is it better for you to sit in a rocking chair? Or do you feel more comfortable breastfeeding in the bed? Will you rather lay down and breastfeed? So you have to keep the options open and be, open to new things because you're new at this. You're not going to get it like that. And if you don't get it like that, that's okay. Don't be hard on yourself. I can even, talking from my experience, there were some times, my nipples would be sore and they would be hurting. That was because he was trying to pacify me. He was not feeding at that point. So you do want to be aware of if you have any pains, because when you do have any pains, it is a clear sign that baby is not latching on the right way. So you want to avoid baby from pacifying you and just sucking on your nipple. Definitely make sure you have the whole areola in the baby's mouth so that baby can get a great latch and baby can feed easily. If you see that baby is fussy after feeding and baby's crying, and it may be because baby still is hungry. Baby may not have gotten a good feeding at that time. So be open to feeding baby again. Do not listen to someone saying, oh no, how often do you feed that baby? Listen, you're not going to be able to keep up all that stuff when you're a new mom. Please, okay? Miss me with it. How often do you feed your baby? Listen, newborns, they have to be fed, I think it's about 8 to 12 times. Newborns, they can feed up to 8 to 12 times per day. Honestly, just feed your baby when baby is hungry. Do not overthink this. You don't want to overfeed, but feed your baby. Like, sleepy. Mommy, what is you talking about? Look at him. He getting sleepy. Look how he leaning on me. But yes, feed your baby. And also with the pacifier, some people don't want to do the pacifier, some people do. I personally, I did use a pacifier. I still do. And it does its job. It pacifies him. But is he always going to have a pacifier? No. Sometimes I take it away. Is he going to sleep with the pacifier? No, you don't want to do that either, because you don't want them to start to suck on the pacifier and then they're not sucking on your nipple to get their nutrition. Instead of them doing that, what you can do is, if baby is fussy and you put the pacifier in his mouth and he calms down, maybe you should double check if baby is fussy. Take the baby's pacifier out and see if baby is hungry first. And then if baby still is fussy, then give them the pacifier, because baby may be hungry. You know, so just be careful with the pacifier as well. And when you're giving baby pacifier, because you do not want to slow down on feedings. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and it gave you some further information about how breastfeeding is and the experience and some great tips. I just want to reiterate a few things that I said. The first thing, the main thing, is make sure you feed baby immediately after giving birth. You want to start that skin to skin and that touch immediately and create that bond. You also want to make sure you feed baby as often as possible. For newborns, they do feed 8 to 12 times per day. So if you see baby smacking, crying, baby maybe pulling on your shirt, make sure you feed baby. So yes, feed baby as often as possible. If you're having issues with latching, try a different position. Also try a different environment. Try to put on calming music. And then continue to watch YouTube to get more pointers. A clear sign that baby is not latching on properly is if you are having pains while breastfeeding, if your nipples are sore, or if you're having discoloration. You definitely want to make sure you put the whole areola in the baby's mouth so that baby can feed easily. If anything is negative or discouraging, listen to your inner gut. If your gut is telling you, I can do this, I'm going to breastfeed, I will do this, and that's it, then do it. If your gut is telling you, I don't think I want to breastfeed, I think I want to do formula, I think that's better for me, then do it. Follow your intuition, mommies. You were born to birth. You have a God-given power to push out a human being. Let God continue to lead you on this journey. What may work for one mommy may not work for you. So that is the most important advice I can give you guys, is to follow your intuition. Your intuition is God talking in you. All right, guys, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to go ahead and put this little one away because he is getting sleepy. That's why I'm trying to be a little lower in my tone. Look at him, he's asleep. Knocked out. I did. No, but seriously, guys, make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. Thank you so much for tuning into another video. Thank you for your continuous support for the Raw family. We love you guys. Bye.